Brought to you by Raising the Vibe, a nonprofit organization supporting the growth of conscious communities.
All right. Welcome everyone to Raising the Vibe. I think most of you have been on one of our Zoom calls before, but just to recap, Raising the Vibe is a 501c3 nonprofit organization with the mission of supporting the growth of conscious communities. We are a spiritual hub and have monthly free Zoom calls with speakers just to kind of broaden people's perspectives about what's going on in the world and helping with the planetary awakening. We specialize in self-transformation tools, holistic healing, and conscious community practices. And please check out RaisingTheVibe.org, where we have all of our past speakers that have the recording of them. And right now on the front page, we have Darshana Patel, who talked about ionation, which is this fabulous, what vibrational reality, which is really awesome, a little intense, but if you listen to it, you can get it on another level. And then Jill Blakeway recently facilitated our book club on her book, Energy Healing, which was fantastic. Both of those are on the front page of our website, RaisingTheVibe.org. So with that, I'd like to introduce Ursula Lentine. I met Ursula, I guess, about a year ago or so at the Center for Love and Light, where they had, unfortunately, they did close their doors with the COVID issue, but for the meeting of the minds. And it's just a wonderful way to gather, but now we're gathering over Zoom. Ursula is a metaphysician for the Center of Spiritual Living, and she practices pranic healing and internal family systems. She'll give you a little bit more background on that because many of you may not know what that is. But we thought it was really special to have Ursula today on 11/11, which is a very energetic gateway time and time for activation. And she's going to actually do a process with it. She's going to talk a little bit and then actually take us through an activation and a process to help raise our vibration. So with that, Ursula, please take it from here.
Thank you so much, Rebecca, and thank you for doing the work that you're doing. Raising the Vibe is not only a personal mission for myself and the people who come regularly, but when we gather in group, we're really sending out a vibration, a frequency, a ripple effect to the collective. Just us tonight here, these few people are going to create a ripple energetically, the butterfly effect, if you're familiar with that. Everything we do really does make a difference. And when we intentionally do something like Raising the Vibe, we are definitely making a difference. So thank you for showing up, each of you tonight, to make a difference for the group and for your communities, your family, whoever you affect. But I work with internal family systems, and that's basically the premise is there's us, our best, most beautiful, most precious self, and then all these parts of our ego that are just like hanging out, causing a trouble, making us crazy, talking in our head all day long. And those voices that talk in our head all day long. Are you familiar with them? Anybody? So everybody talks to themselves all day long in their head. And often we do not mention that to anybody else because, unfortunately, some of that talk is not so kind. When we slow down enough and we can really listen to what's happening, it's not necessarily our best self talking to us. So what the process of the internal family systems is who's talking now? And we go into the subconscious because that's where all the voices are coming from. And if we start separating them out, we understand, oh, there's the critic, there's the angry part, there's the victim part, there's the worry part, there's the anxious part. All right, is anyone familiar with any of those parts inside of them? Right? And guess what? We all have them. And depending on our traumas and our lifestyle and the things we grew up with and the belief systems, our culture, those have been programmed into our computer system. So basically, when we can figure out who's our best self, what's our most loving, kindest, easygoing, non-judgmental self, and get closer and closer to that, then we can have a lot of compassion and patience and loving kindness to ourselves and therefore everybody else. That's a part of the work I do. And how did I come to do that? Is because I suffered, because life was not easy. So when I was a kid, my dad was always on me, and I just created some dreams and I busted out. And at age 18, I moved to California and had a successful modeling career with Elite, and turned that into a successful acting career with Wilhelmina. I was painting that town red with my bestie, and we'd go dancing 5 nights a week and just meeting all these incredible people, manifesting, studying spirituality. And then one of the fellas I was dating was this amazing guy, and he swept me off my feet, asked me to marry him. And we moved to an island in the middle of the Caribbean. And this was an island off of an island. So I don't know about you, but if you've ever lost yourself and forgot who you were and why you were, and kind of started shaping yourself around your environment or your family or your job, that's what I ended up doing. So all this beauty and glamour and everything turned out to be kind of a raw deal. So this amazing man turned into an angry man because his identity was shaped from his success, and he was no longer successful. Every business deal started plummeting. We quickly realized we were living in a third world country, and everything was triple the price and a quarter of the value. We had no friends, no social community. I had given up my country, my job, my career, my identity, my relationships, and I was isolated. And the isolation is one of the most devastating things that we can do as a human being. We're mammals, we're tribe, we're community, we're family. Like, we should not exist in isolation. So during these times of COVID, everybody's getting a little raw taste of what is isolation. And if you're noticing that it sucks, it's because we're not designed to be in isolation. Our first hurricane was 2 years into the marriage, and we were under the house. We were scared, we were terrified. That hurricane was 36 hours long. We were clueless. We had no idea what was going on. And in the dark of night, we were hearing these banging and crashing. We didn't know if the house was going to exist. Halfway through, it all stopped. And we got out. The phone actually rang. We had a boat phone before cell phones, and it actually rang, and it was the mechanic. And he said, "We're in the eye of the storm. Go outside and check everything. We're only halfway through." So dismayed, we went outside and we looked around and secured some things, and like threw the dogs and the cooler, everything under the house because we weren't sure. And that's where we stayed for the second half of the hurricane. And at one point, there's nothing to talk about, right? Because you're just terrified. At one point, I had one cat on my neck, another dog between my legs, another dog on the hand. And my husband was laying next to me, and in the middle of everything, he said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm breathing." Because that's how I am. I'm always calm no matter what's going on, no matter how much life is being aggressive towards me. I'm just in a calm state. So I bring that calmness to myself when I'm in isolation, when I'm struggling. I bring calmness to my clients, because my greatest thing that I love the most is peace. So I carry that peace with me. I've cultivated that peace with me. 10 years in that marriage. And both of his daughters came to me and they said, when he met you, he was the best person. He had become like this incredible person that we've always wished he was. But now that years have gone by, we're seeing that he turned back into the miserable guy he always was before he met you. Get out. Can you imagine your own family members telling your person to leave you because you're a jerk? That's a pretty big jerk. So I said, well, I don't know about that. I made a commitment, and I was raised Catholic, and our vows were very, very important. And then I started reflecting, like, can I really break this vow? And, we're as good as our word. A vow is our word. Our Constitution is basically our word. How can I break my word? Then I started realizing, oh, I didn't make one vow. I made frigging 3 vows. The vow to him, the vow to myself, and the vow to God. Now I've got to break 3 vows and it's against my whole idea. The 9/11 hit. And even though we were in Antigua, which is in the Caribbean, we were on Pelican Island, the 36-acre island. 4 people's lives were destroyed. And something about 9/11 hit me so hard. And I woke up. And why was I on the island? Who had I become? Why was I here? Breaking the 3 vows. All of that didn't matter. I just suddenly woke up and said, I gotta go. And a day and a month, I was in the States. And my sister and her husband, who didn't like me at all, offered me to come live with them. So she flew down to Florida from Atlanta, and we rented a Penske truck. And I had a glamorous home in Boca Raton that we could not afford. And I just packed up my little belongings, which was clothing and books from 10 years ago, basically, because we never bought anything, because we couldn't afford anything. And I was hurrying and doubting. I was 105 pounds because I was so stressed out. My hair was falling out by the handful. I didn't know what I was doing. All I could ever wish was to get out of that marriage. I couldn't even plan beyond that. And I grabbed that carry-on bag, you know, the roller bags. And you know how those stupid things always tip over when they're too full, you know, and you're just pulling them and there was a scuff mark on the white marble type foyer. And there was no cleaning products. My sister was beeping the horn and I didn't know what to do. And I just grabbed my bag and left. And for 3 hours sitting in that truck, I worried about that scuff mark. And I thought, he's going to give me hell about that scuff mark. He's going to lay into me. He's not going to give me the divorce. He's not going to help me pay for things. He's just going to yell and scream. And I was like, maybe we should turn back. And I was just fretting. And my sister would look over every once in a while, and I tend to be quiet, so she didn't really know what was going on. And then I thought, God, who have I become? Look at me for 3 hours. I'm about to scuff mark. I'm about to save my life, like give myself a whole nother chance. And all I can do is worry about this one thing. And the hook of that worry and that stress and that relationship, I realized I had not become who I really truly am. I had lost myself. I was so far away from who I knew to be, from that successful model and actress in Los Angeles, that courageous 18-year-old who was going to make it. I was a shadow of myself. And from there, I dug myself out of that person who I had become, who I'd sacrificed into being. And I diligently did work, and I found my spiritual community, and I did all kinds of therapy and learned things. And now I'm in the position that I am better even than that courageous 18-year-old and that successful model. I became a successful realtor. I got my broker's license, and I've been practicing this after the crash, right? Another crash. And I said, oh, okay, no more crashes in my life. From now on, I'm going to do what my heart calls me to do. And for the last 10 years, I've been doing what my heart calls me to do, being my most authentic self, helping people become their most authentic selves, helping them eliminate the traumas and dramas of their story, of their life, sacrificing themselves, their beauty, their brilliance. So that's what I do. That's who I am. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of background so you know like who you're talking to and who you're having this experience with. So I really appreciate you guys listening. And if any of you have stories you want to tell me about your life or any things you want to clean up, you know, I'm available. Please come find me. And I'd love to hear your story and possibly work together. So moving on to what is today. Today is November 11th. And tonight's going to be 11 o'clock, 11 minutes, and 11 seconds. And we already had one of those this morning. And what is this? I've had several calls today going, what's going on? I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm feeling insecure. I'm feeling this. I'm feeling that. And I said, it's okay. It's 11:11. And people are like, what does that mean? So 11 in the world of numerology is specific. It's a higher vibration number because it's almost like the first double digit. Yes, there's 10, which is a 1 and a 0, and you add those up, it's still 0. It's just still 1. But 11 is like, oh, a mark in the world, a higher vibration. So when people have 11 in their numerology, that's like a master number. But if you look at the number of 11, it's 2 lines. And that's basically a doorway. It's a portal. It's a marker. It's like something's here. So what we're doing in this time of COVID, in this time of transformation, in this time of the age of Aquarius waking up, in this time of masculine paradigms and patriarch systems collapsing because they've lived their time. They're no longer serving us. They can't work anymore. So just like we ourselves perish, we die, we're going to be gone. And if you believe in reincarnation, a new cycle is going to happen. Just like your favorite tree is going to fall over one day. So there's cycles. There's cycles to our business. There's cycles to our identity. There's cycles to our lifestyles. From children to, the adolescent, the middle age, and as we're aging into the elder. And when we can celebrate and say, oh, I'm an elder. I had my croning ceremony a few years ago, and it was this rites of passage. Going through this 11 portal is like a rites of passage. It's for us to claim, okay, I don't know what the hell's going on around here, but it's time for a change. COVID's teaching us time for a change, to be adaptable and adjustable. And sometimes we don't have a time that we say, well, who am I now? Or what's going on now? Or what do I want now? So we're going to go through this experience together. And we're going to see what needs to let go of and what we want to create. Because every time we go through a transformation, there is a letting go, a leaving of behind. Just if we go from one room to the other, right? If we walk into the house, we're leaving the outside and we're entering the inside. So now we're doing this in a way for ourselves through an interior version. We're also leaving what we affectionately call a 3D reality, which is a material world. We don't realize it, but when we're living in a day-to-day, our references are shaping us. So looking at yourself as what is your identity? And I see some people have pen and paper, so that's good. You don't have to have it, but it's good. What is your identity? Go ahead and write that down or think about it. And I want to, can you unmute everybody, Robert? And I want to hear some identities that we know ourselves to be. Yes, Diane.
Oh, I was just futzing around with my mouse. Sorry.
Good. I want you to share, though. I was looking at you. How would you identify yourself?
Well, right now I would identify myself as a homeowner dealing with continual home maintenance problems when I would much rather be spending my time painting, meditating, walking in nature, etc.
Okay, so I hear homeowner, painter, nature lover. Great. Woman. Do you identify yourself as a woman?
Definitely.
So these are our references. Great. Thank you. Melissa.
I'm a little stumped by the question because, so many roles come up, and I could say, okay, I'm a marketer because that's what I do, for a living, but I don't just do that. I also do other stuff. And then I'm a wife, I'm a daughter, so I really kind of settled on, I'm a chameleon. It just depends on my circumstances as to what colors you see in a way.
Or being a wife and a marketer and all that, also the needs that are present that you can fulfill, right? So you could even say, besides chameleon, I'm a need fulfiller.
Yeah, and that's part of my threshold today, is to move a little out of making our collective life happen, and kind of shift into overdrive on some projects or creativity opportunities that are developing for me.
Awesome. Thank you. Who else would like? Lauren?
Sure. Definitely mother, wife, daughter, confidant. I feel like I play that role a lot for people that want to share. I am a seeker, and I am a healer.
Great. Rebecca?
First one was mother, nonprofit founder, artist, doer, leader, guide, and I stole Lauren's seeker. I like that one too.
Great. Joey?
I don't know if he might not be on right now.
Okay, his voice, his mic was off. And who else is here hiding behind their picture tonight?
Leanne.
Thank you.
I would say that I am an explorer of human potential. I am a business owner and an artist, a mother and a grandmother.
Great. Thank you. Anybody else? It's funny when people are there, but they're not there. As in life, right? How many times do we show up in community and we just pose? I do. If I can't engage, I'll just at least show up. And sometimes in COVID, that's all we can do is just show up. And sometimes when we're playing all these roles, like Melissa was saying, we're so busy rolling that we don't remember who we are. Like when I was on the island, we kind of forget who is our most essential self, who's the one in the middle of it all making it happen. So when we can uncover some of these roles that we're playing and let them go, then this inner essence can lead the way. Like Melissa, you were saying, you want to kind of just like pick one or two and go for it.
Something, as everybody was saying their words, came to me, and so I've pulled it up, but I'm like, it's chameleon's like too passive of a word. So I really shape-shifting kind of came to me, more of not like in the physical sense, like on True Blood, but shape-shifting, folklore and speculative fiction. Shape-shifting is the ability to physically transform through an inherently superhuman ability, divine intervention, demonic manipulation, sorcery spells, and having an inherent the ability. So it's kind of like, I just make shit happen. I mean, I just make, I make life happen, no matter, I manifest.
That's a perfect lead in to where we're going, because things are happening so fast, right? So even though we're on lockdown, there's a lot of changes happening around us, and specifically within us, as roles, as hats that we wear are being removed from us, and our identity is changing, and we're not liking some of the stuff that we're having to carry still, because we're like, oh, I got some freedom with time. I got some freedom with, mobility. I've got some freedom here, here, here. What's this, Diane? What's this homeowner like maintenance like problem? Like, I don't want that anymore. So we're having an opportunity to choose where we didn't have time to choose last year, one thing before all this stuff happened. So in this acceleration of things that are happening, I'm sorry, Robert, you're sitting right there. I didn't ask you, what are your identities?
Well, I could have offered them, right?
Yes.
I didn't. Well, right now I have someone doing, giving me a lot of to-dos. So I'm a to-doer, but, but, of course, partner, father, grandfather, teacher, writer, speaker, healer, those types of things.
Good, thank you.
Yeah.
So when there's this acceleration going on, we can't it's almost like you show up to the wrong job with the right hat on, like you're wearing the mother hat and you're like trying to be wife and you're like, wait, you're not my son. Like, I don't want to mother the husband. So we get caught up in our roles. So if we could just take all these dang roles off and just like, who am I? What am I? What's my purpose? Like, what's really, really going on here? As things accelerate, we need to become the shapeshifters, where our truest self is leading the program, and whatever is needed, like that need fulfiller that I mentioned, whatever is needed at the time, it's going to come through. So we can throw all the hats away, we can throw the side rails away, because at this point in life, things are chugging along, moving along, and it's for us to be able to adapt. Who feels like they've been adapting quite a bit in the last few months? So now if we're like, okay, if it's the world of change and the world of adaptation, then let me focus on that instead of these old paradigms of these roles and responsibilities that we have to have. So I work with pranic healing, and in pranic healing, we teach that there's 11 major chakras instead of the traditional 7. And those are the ones I know and I work with. So what we're going to be doing is going inside, and we're going to visit each chakra as we go along, and we're going to discard what's not needed anymore. We're just slowing down to take a moment to say, you know what, that's out. Just like when you clean your closet, when I do it by myself, I get a little pile. When my best friend comes over, we get a giant pile. So this is our best friend version, so we can really get rid of some of the stuff that's not serving us and won't serve us going forward. So even if we have a little attachment, make a little pile for leaving soon, but not today. And it's not about taking notes and thinking about it later. We're actually going to do it now. So unfold your arms and legs, close your eyes. You can put the tongue on the palate. Let the tongue float to the roof of the mouth and just keep it there. If you want to lay down, you can lay down. We're going to set up a boundary of safety for ourselves. So becoming aware of our heartbeat and our breath, and the observer of self who notices the heartbeat and the breath. And all those voices in our head, the jumbling around. Everybody settle down. You're not in charge right now. It's okay. And that's a very good thing to say to your voices. It's okay. What about this? What about? No, it's okay. No, it's okay. Oh, no, it's okay. So anytime you hear a little voice pop up, just say, you know what, it's okay. Becoming aware that we are never alone, that the essence of our life itself is our resource. So becoming aware of our resource. We've known it in different names. You can call it God, you can call it breath of life, energy, life force energy, love. And the qualities of these things are actually love. If you look at the way the universe is designed, there's a lovingness to the animal nature, the plant nature, the human nature. Intelligence. Most religions can agree that whatever this thing is, there's an intelligence to it. You can ask any scientist, do you have evidence of intelligence? They'll say, look at every cell in your body. How does it know? So we become aware of the obviousness of this Christ consciousness, this Buddha nature. Love, intelligence, and power. The atom bomb is a perfect example of how much power can be in the smallest of things. Just like what we said in the beginning, our effect of our intention and the ripple effect is ours for the creating. So as we become still with ourselves and focusing on the breath whenever those thoughts keep coming back, and creating a safe space for us. If you remember when you were a child and they said, oh, yes, we're the only ones in the universe. And your 10-year-old was like, there's no way. There's no way. There's no other life forms out there. And that might have been the end of the discussion. But in my realm, there's angels, there's spiritual helpers, there's ancestors who have crossed over and are still with us. We have guides who are helping us stay safe and stay alive. And beyond that, there's got to be other life forms. We just are not aware of them. So we invite them as well, because we're all created out of the same consciousness, the same vibration. There is no enemy. Our biggest enemy is our own selves. There's no out there or them. So we invite all through the vibration of love. And we ask for our highest and best to be served. And we set ourselves up in a double helix, a diamond. We're standing in the middle and there's an energy border around us. There's a framework that our energetic system is in, a bubble, which we would call our aura, our personal space. There's a spiritual column that comes in through our crown, the top of our head, and spirals down, out between our legs, and into Mother Earth. So we're going to become aware of that column of light. And this is where our essence comes from. It's like a pole that we can hang on to whenever things get rocky. So become aware of your heart chakra. It's right where your physical heart is. And as we focus on that one point, there's a spark of life. Even the scientists say, oh, what makes the heart go? Oh, there's a little spark. There's electrical spark. That's the spark of life. Focus on that spark. Sometimes it may appear to you as a flame. And this is our center. This is where we have immense wisdom. This is where we have great compassion, even for those that we judge or don't like. So ask that flame, that light, that spark to get bigger and to expand into a space that fills your chest and go up a few inches to your throat chakra and wake that up. Your voice is valuable. I want to hear what you have to say, not what you've been told to say, not what you're expected to say, but what you have to say from the heart. And go up a few inches higher to our pineal gland, the gateway from our physical to our spiritual. Just a cute little gland right there. And say hello to that gland. Maybe this is the first time in your life you've said hello to the pineal gland. Magical piece of us. And give it some space, like you would clear the ground to create a fire. Imagine it to be light blue or a brilliant blue. And sit at its fire. Hello, pineal. I didn't even know you were there. I didn't even know I could talk to you. Please lead me, guide me, talk to me, show me. I'm here to learn from you now. And go up higher to the crown chakra. It looks like a funnel radiating from the top of our head, like a lotus flower with many, many petals. It's beautiful. And see if you can rise above it and look down upon it. It glistens and it glows. It's almost like angels singing. It's a very magical part of our system. And even above that, 12 inches more, there's our 12th chakra. And that's the downpouring of spiritual energy, of wisdom, of love, of power. And get in the middle of that as if you're standing under a column of waterfall. And point your face up to it and just feel the blessings showering on you. It's constant, like a waterfall, never dries up. As long as you're alive, that's continuing. How lucky we are to become aware of this. And going up higher to our higher soul and higher to a galactic version of the blueprint of who we are as a soul. And looking to the left and right in that dimension and seeing all these other shiny stars in the sky, other souls participating, influencing our life. And going higher to source itself. Nothing but brilliant, blinding light that makes our eyes unnecessary. And we just become the light. And when we are in the light, we can't hold on to anything else that was physical. So in this light, feel the value of who you are as a speck of light. Now, what is important about you? What love do you hold here? What intelligence, wisdom do you know from this point of view? And what power do you have access to? Capture this moment. Take an emotional snapshot of this moment, an awareness of this moment, a shared experience with everybody who's here in this call tonight. And become that light. Almost as if you are that light, and now there's an outline of your specific body, your specific blueprint, your specific DNA programming. And slowly release that and drop into the higher soul, going down that same column, gently landing into the cushion of the crown chakra, the soft, fluffy, beautiful place where we engage in meditation, in connection, in the listening to the still, small, quiet voice. And then slipping down the slide into the pineal gland and the throat chakra and the heart chakra. And spreading light as if you're painting the walls of your heart with that same light. This is who I am. This is where I come from. This is my source. And I always say that we have a home inside our heart. So that spark is the center of the home, whether it's a fireplace or a light. And how would you design your home? Your home. Is it a cottage, a castle? What do you have in there? What brings you most joy and comfort? Who do you let into this home? So go ahead and design your home inside your heart. This is the chakra that we come home to regularly. When we wake up, we're waking up from this chakra. When we're going to bed, we tuck ourselves into this chakra. And feel the self-love and the self-respect that we just brought in from the higher dimensions. And take a seat in your favorite chair in this home. And feel the comfort, the safety, the non-responsibility to everybody else and everything else and the agenda and the schedule, and just you here, now. Just relaxing and becoming. And feel the love. See the potential from this chair. And feel the power behind that potential. And take your remote control and click the screen in front of you. And see who you were as a child. And look specifically for the light that you were. The playfulness, the silliness, the jokester, the shy one, the tender one, the sweet one. And keep that. And then see the one that was troubled, the one that was crying, the one that was misunderstood, the one who was receiving negative feelings, judgment, criticism, being ignored, feeling small, and saying, well, I don't really need that anymore. I don't need to carry that anymore. I don't want that anymore. Simply hit the delete button. I cannot bring that forward. Delete, 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 delete. The blaming, the shame, delete, delete, delete. The low self-esteem that may have come from those times and places, delete, delete, delete. And move forward to your teenage years. Were you sassy? Were you sexy? Were you playful? Were you courageous? Were you intimidated? Were those your dark ages? Were those your best years? And start separating. Oh, I like that. Oh, I remember when I wore those kinds of clothes. Oh, that was a great friendship. Oh, that's when I was bold and I did these things. So yeah, I like that about me. And then look at the things that, Not so great. Delete, 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 delete. I don't have any space for that in my current version. Now go to your 20s. When you made some life decisions, when you worked really, really hard to stay in school, when you may have played around with drugs and alcohol and stupid people. Or when you were proud of yourself and you accomplished things, when you felt powerful. What were your relations like? Did you start a family? What did you fail at? And what did you learn from those failures? So separate those. I'm going to keep this good stuff. I'm going to keep the lessons. I'm not even going to keep the scars. I'm just going to keep the wisdom accumulated. Just like a baby trying to walk, they don't remember every time they fell. They just remember the 3 steps and the 2 steps, and they celebrate when they can cruise across the room. We don't need to hang on to our mistakes anymore. They're no value to us. Delete, 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 delete. Oh yeah, that crummy time. Delete. And move into your 30s. So much of autopilot. Everything's established, and this is the way we do it, and this is working hard, and this is how these are the roles we play. Structure, monotony, day in, day out. Who am I? Why am I here? Go along. Robot. Or maybe you went through some more challenges, some more life-changing times. Take a good look, an objective look. What were my learnings? Where was I valuable? Where did I sink into the wallpaper? Tease out what was great about your 30s and what doesn't matter anymore. And keep the value. All the struggle and strife, delete, 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 delete. It's our life. We get to choose what we want to live and keep and know and remember and carry. And now your 40s, if you're in your 40s, challenges can be greater, responsibilities heavier, identities being challenged, perhaps some more life changes. And separate those. They're not as complicated as the 30s, but heavier at times. And then the famous midlife crisis around the 48 to 52, men and women, reevaluating who we are, why we are, how we are. Any breakthroughs, any endings, any heartbreaks, separate them. Any courage. And those of us who may be 60s, a lot of changes, especially around identity. It's almost like the bell curve of the teenage years. Lessons learned. Where do we place our value? Even if the world is changing their value upon us, where do we value ourselves? And those of us who are younger than that, move into your 60s. Project on the screen, who do I want to become when I'm 60, 65, 69? What values do I want to claim for myself? Put some markers in there, placeholders. And all those things that we deleted, let's go to that trash pile on the computer screen and open that up. And with the love of what I call the Holy Spirit, that Christ consciousness, just erase all of that. Permanently delete all of this stuff from our DNA, the lineage that we carry, our culture, our identities, our roles. We're just coming in with a clean consciousness now. So as you sit on that chair and you see these wonderful aspects of you that you're holding, that you're bringing forward to you, and as we sit in this day of 11:11, and we go through the threshold from that doorway, from our heart into our heart consciousness, this is our new home. This is the door from which we face the new tomorrows. This is who we know ourselves to be and who we can believe in and who we can trust. Our references are now from this household and the different parts of us. We also stand at this door and we invite in our highest soul, our advisors, our counsel, the highest versions of whatever tribe we belong to, whatever culture we want to keep with us. The great wisdom of the Judaic culture, the love and compassion of the Italian culture. Any culture that you belong to, that you value, come on, you come in here. Any beings, deities that you pray to, that you look upon, any great teachers, your personal guides, ancestors that you value. And greater than that, who's living in the stars that we can't see, that we don't know, that we're too immature? You guys can hang out in the front gate if you want. I may come to know you later. But if you're of light and love and empowerment, I'll take you now. So whatever the future holds for us, we're ready. And we can close that door in protection, and we can open that door to those who are safe. Whenever we're inside, we know who we are. We have all these upper chakras to move up and down. We have our lower chakras to hold space for us, to ground us. We're here now. We're home now. The threshold is moving from the outside to the inside. So thanking yourself to take this journey with me, collectively in this group. And take a deep breath, thanking the healing angels, spiritual helpers, the guides, the ancestors, higher soul. We use a moment, take this moment to bless Raising the Vibe and their intention and the community that's serving us and serving humanity as well. Take a very, very deep breath, coming back into your physical body, into November 11th, 2020. Wiggling your toes and your fingers, gently opening your eyes, and coming back into the room. Welcome back. Lauren, Hi, Diane. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Melissa. Robert, how you feeling? Rebecca. Good. Leanne, are you with us?
Yes.
I thought so. Great. Who would like to share their experience? We're still landing. I shouldn't ask so quick.
I love the way you went through the ages, and I really had like great visualizations of what I was like as a child, and I quickly found those moments where I was unhappy, but then I also found my essence as a child and the good. And I just love just really that going decade through decade and just the visualization for that. And then the delete. I was really pushing my table here, delete, delete, delete,
Good.
and then emptying the trash. So
Good. Good.
love that. Thanks.
We're at that level of freedom where, you know, we don't have to struggle anymore to let go of things.
Yeah.
I thought it was fantastic. And I echo what you said, right, Rebecca, about the delete, delete, delete. I think that's something I'll carry forward because that was, I don't know, very cleansing in many ways. I was fortunate enough to do some energy work starting this morning with some acupuncture and some energy shifts. So I found that I was moving through the threshold and getting started. So to me, I was like, I'm on high drive right now.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, we lightened your load today so you can really travel quickly. Gail says, my mic wasn't working, but it was very helpful looking at the decades, but also looking towards the future. Thank you, Gail. Diane?
For me, it was a little quick, zipping through all the decades, and here and there I got an essence as, of something that I, tuned into, and things I would like to let go of. But I think really what I liked the best was going up, 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 woo, all the way. And lately I've been doing some yoga and deep breathing exercises, and I've connected more and more with pure white light that just streams through me. And I didn't mention before, but I am a healer, and it gives me great pleasure to, in any way I can, be of service in that way. I'm also learning to be more mindful. My mind doesn't chatter all the time. I've slowed down. And today, one joy was two bright, bright yellow butterflies. When I went to take out the garbage, what was there but these two butterflies dancing around? And I don't know, that's what I'm noticing lately. And
Beautiful. That's what happens when we slow down enough that we can notice the magical moments that are heaven on earth right here and now. And I would imagine with the beautiful art you have behind you that you spend quite a bit of time up in that bright light when you are in your creative zone.
Yes, I channel it. Mhm.
Thank you. Joey, would you like to share?
So my monkey mind just takes over whenever I try to do meditations like this. So I was able to focus on my breath, but it's an opportunity for me to, to be still, but my mind goes away and I don't really even remember what you said, to be honest with you.
That's okay. Yeah, it went into your subconscious. So
Yeah.
don't worry about it. We cleared some stuff out, okay? Because that's who I was
Thank you.
speaking to and what I was speaking of. And sometimes the monkey mind will just entertain us while all that, like when the doctor's giving you a shot, they kind of distract you, right?
Mhm.
So sometimes the monkey mind will distract while we're doing some work. So don't feel bad about anything.
I don't.
Good.
I'm used to it. The monkey
Okay.
mind.
Okay.
That the monkey is one my friend.
Right. Right. Good. Good. Let's see, we had a message here. Leanne, oh, I see, she left. I love the experience, very cleansing. I have another meeting I need to shift to, but was happy to be here as long as I could. Thank you, Ursula. Thank you, Leanne. Sarah, would you like to share anything?
I think it was Diane that recently talked. What she said resonated with me as well. Of like going through the decades, it was a little hard for me to reflect that quickly. I picked up on some things I wanted to keep and wanted to get rid of, and that was helpful. But I think again, similar to Dan, I more so enjoyed thinking about myself above myself and connecting to a bigger picture. And kind of seeing things more clearly because of that. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Lauren.
I don't know what happened to me. I almost feel like I was like a little bit like astro traveling. My first image was like in the stars, and then I was like just on a journey.
Good. Because again, like Joey, we went in there and we cleared house. So
Yeah, I feel like so tired now. I feel like so much shifted, and it's going to take me a minute to like integrate everything, but it was very peaceful. And yeah, I mean, I feel definitely substantially different than when we started.
awesome. Thank you,
Yeah.
Joey. Awesome. Thank you. And Robert.
Yeah, so of course, you took me up and I was in the light and the oneness and I checked out after that.
Great. Like you guys were having tea up there.
Exactly.
And Diane came back in and she wished she could stay over there.
Exactly.
Awesome. Good. And Rebecca, what was your experience?
I already went, but I wanted to also share that I was yawning a lot. I just was clearing, had like the water coming down my eyes and just clearing a lot. And my son was listening and he got very emotional. He had to leave.
Aww.
So I don't know, something was going on. It was pulling something up for him. So he went for a little, I think he just went out and took the dog.
Great.
Yeah. So
No,
something was happening, but I'm sure it needed to happen, just
yeah, with the intention of healing, clearing, and cleaning, and young men carry a lot. We don't realize, what the young man is carrying. Remember back in times and spaces and different cultures, the young man is the strength of the whole community. And, they have a lot on their shoulders because people are looking to them for answers. And they're like, look, I'm just a punk. Like, what do I know? But they have this courageous heart of leadership and willing to die for the cause and all of that. So in this transitional time period, the young men of today have a lot going on. So anytime you see a young man, just be like, hey man, thanks for being you and doing what you do in the world.
Yeah. And Will's such an empath. He's just taking so much energy on that he's, doesn't even know what's his and what's not. And just a lot. Yeah.
We have a few more minutes. I was curious as to your homes that you created in your heart, if you wanted to share any little details about the home. Sarah?
You can see me smiling.
Yes.
I was actually picturing a house my mother had sent me that I've always wanted, like a yellow house, because yellow is bright and happy. And it was a little yellow house, big garden, and walk away from the beach, and just filled with, the inside was just filled with sentimental items and good books for people to read, and spots to lay in the sun, and just comfortable, and lots of plants inside as well. And yeah, just really cozy and full of nature and things like that.
Nice. I could get a sense from your description. Melissa, what was your house like?
Well, actually, it's a house in Montana that we've been designing. But just before getting on this call, as I said, like things have already started shifting, and I came up with a whole different way for us to shift our weight toward Montana and not have the rental unit will actually become an office. And so like a variety of different things. So I was way deep into, yeah, this will be the drawer that I'll put the pot holders in, or, it was just, I had started moving in during the exercise.
Awesome. Super awesome, because we're really in a creative process right here. So you're from today to the actual materialization of it will quicken. So that's awesome that you're able to do that right now. That's exciting.
And I don't know who said they were yawning, but I'm exhausted from today. Like I just need another nap. I already took one this afternoon, but I will sleep well tonight.
We can all go to bed right after this call. Diane, were you present enough to do your house?
Yeah, but mine is like my take on it was a little bit different than what other people are saying. And actually my heart was my home, and I painted it with light. I painted it with, the walls were white light, crystals, nothing solid really. Just in my heart. I was light in my heart, and I intentionally brought more and more light in.
Nice.
And I hope to do that for the rest of my life, to keep intentionally bringing more and more light in.
So be it.
So be it.
Awesome. Robert, what was your house like?
Well, it's like I said, I checked out, but it's interesting when you start asking this, like, oh, yeah. It's like, what, comes up, consistently here is sanctuary, sacred, definitely some fires and some crystal, but of course, fires burn like candle fires, but from that capacity, that's what was coming up.
Nice. Gail, do you have I see, your mic's not working, and because I don't see you, it's hard for me to connect with you. I'm sorry. So Gail's writing, my house is cozy and uncluttered. And Gail, did you have any other takeaways from, what you wanted to share? Because I know you said your mic's not working and you're helpful in looking at decades. Is there anything else you'd like to share? Well, while you're writing, we can check in with Rebecca.
I pictured, I was kind of into my heart, and then I was just picturing this soft, cozy chair white, looking out on this beautiful mountain scene with loved ones all around. And then the tribe came in, like all of y'all playing music, and it just felt just really spiritual, connected, joyous, musical.
Nice. Nice. Lauren, did you have time to make a little house since you?
I did. I was in a rocking chair on a porch and just looking over the horizon, like just feeling the warmth of the sun, and it was just incredibly serene and peaceful and just felt so expansive. Just like I felt very limitless in that moment.
Nice. Oh, awesome. Gail checked in. She said it was very calming experience, lots of technical issues tonight. Okay, but your presence is here, Gail, so I really appreciate that. Again, we're showing up to the capacity that we can. It's like showing up at the doorway, showing up with the day, showing up like just even if our just face is there, right? We're just like doing the best we can. So I appreciate that.
Ursula, as you lead us through the meditation, do you have anything that comes up for you?
Yeah, I'm very much in that space. So even when I do the subconscious work with my clients, they often ask that. I'm clairsentient, so I have a sense of space. I used to be clairvoyant, so that was taken away so I can enhance my other things. So I physically feel like if my client's in a space and time, I'm there. So when I was with the deleting, I felt like I was standing in each of your living rooms going, yeah, get that one. Okay. Oh yeah, get it, like, oh, great. Oh, that one's cute, So I was having these experiences in the collective. And then there's also an aspect of me that I'm like, yeah, get rid of that. Who doesn't? Oh, so it's like real busy, my experience. So I'm standing kind of in the middle speaking, and then parts of me are, visiting and enjoying and then doing my own processing. So thank you for asking. People don't usually ask that. Thank you. And my home is really cute. It's like a cabin in the woods, but it's overlooking valley and green and mountains. And there's always a fireplace. And my grandma's always sitting there with me because she was like a cool lady in my childhood. So she's just always sitting in her chair. And then one of my Master Choa, my pranic healing teacher, he's got his own chair. And then I come in and I plop down on the couch, and there's always tea and cookies, and the fire's always burning. And, there's smells in the home, and it's always warm, and lots of wood, lots of plants. Like Sarah has a lot of plants in her house, and mine does too, and windows. Rebecca, we can close now. Do you have any announcements?
Thanks, Ursula. That was just fantastic. I can't think of a better way to spend 11/11 with that beautiful meditation activation and being with this group. Just some different people showed up tonight. I just am so thrilled that y'all came and joined our circle tonight. Again, it not only helps you, but it helps the collective as we pour our energy together. It's needed so much right now. So some announcements. Our next Raising the Vibe event is on Monday, 12/7, and that is going to be Your Skin Within from Susan Gonzalez, who is with the founder of Moon Organic. She's a cancer survivor and really created her own company because she needed to have more organic products, safer products. So that should be fantastic, December 7th. I'm also doing through another platform called Social Chrysalis, a roundtable on finding your gifts and higher purpose. I've got a panel of experts that I'll be working with. This is also a free Zoom call. Again, it's November 18th at 8 p.m. Eastern. You should have gotten something through Raising the Vibe. If you didn't, just go to raisingthevibe.org, and on the front page on our news section, you'll learn about it. But it's the panelists are going to be Becca Winnicka, who's an energy healer. Many of you know Becca. Susan Shire, she's the author of Soul Mastery, and she's going to be talking about the Akashic Record. And she's done many books, and she's channeled, she does Akashic Record readings. Karen McMullen's going to be talking about human design. Sherry Herndon's going to be talking about the gene keys. And Dr. Nicholas Dimitri, many of you know him, will be talking about the Enneagram. So all of these tools are wonderful ways to really find, have on paper, who am I? And that's kind of what we're talking today. Who, other than the roles, like I'm a mother and an artist, besides that, who am I? What is my purpose? What is my life's work? And I know the reason it really resonates with me is because I like to see things on paper, and it's hard for me to connect. So I want to use my logical mind to go like, who am I? And I can see it. Oh yeah, I'm a leader that here is to unify. And it really helped me be bold enough to step into creating Raising the Vibe. So I really encourage you guys to just learn about these tools. They're all free from all these panel of experts. Again, Social Chrysalis, just sign up. And then we're going to have our next book is The Trust Frequency by Connie Baxter Marlowe and her partner Andrew Bailey. They are part of Social Chrysalis, and they will be facilitating. Again, we've been so blessed to have the authors come in and facilitate their books for us. So The Trust Frequency, again, you can, you should have gotten an email about it, but go ahead and buy that through thetrustfrequency.net. And then Dr. Dimitri is going to talk about iridology, the iris, and all the things that you can learn from your eyes in February. So we've got quite a bit of programming coming up. And if you haven't joined as a member, please join as a member or a business member so we can, keep this alive and functioning. Everybody's doing this as a volunteer basis. So we're just doing it from our heart. So we just hope you can get more involved however you can. So with that, thank you again, Ursula, dear friend. You're awesome.
Thank you.
So pleased.
Thank you.
And just honored that you've been such an active part of Raising the Vibe. And we also have spiritual circles on Wednesday. So email me if you'd like to join, but it's really our really intimate connection time. Many of you on this call come most Wednesdays where we really just share what's going on with us and talk about energy. We learn things. We did a Barbara Marx Hubbard finding your deepest heart's desire exercise. So it's just a wonderful way to really connect in with this community. So with that, I'm going to end the recording here.